Dear Presidents, members of the European Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the press, members of the Brewers of Europe, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to Beer Serves Europe. I am, first of all, delighted that you all could join us at this house, our house, to celebrate the contribution that beer and the European brewing sector makes to the European Union. I am very proud to welcome our guest speakers, the European Commission President Jose-Manuel Barroso and Member of the European Parliament, Professor Danuta Hübner. I thank especially to the President, Durão Barroso, for making his time available in such a difficult moment. And with your excuses, he will be leaving immediately after his allocation, his speech to all of us. We understand fully, President, because times are not easy. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Brewers of Europe is the voice of the European brewing sector. And we are the voice to the European institutions and international organizations. We represent 27 national brewers associations, and we provide them with information on all aspects of policy and legislation affecting our sector. I am tremendously proud to be representing the Brewers of Europe as their president. Europe's more than 3,500 breweries produce a product that is brewed in all EU countries. All EU countries brew beer. And it's really a diverse and a deeply traditional product rooted in agriculture. And we are, fortunately, great customers of the European agriculture. Beer is part of our common European heritage and culture. Beer is culture and tradition. But beer is also economy. As my tenure as President of the Brewers of Europe enters its last 6 months, I am delighted to have the privilege to reflect upon the achievements of the past few years and to look very briefly at the future of the brewing sector. When we talk of the past, we could go back 5,000 years. We could go to the times of Plato, who said he was a wise man, he who invented beer already. And I think we should trust Plato. Or I could go back to the founding of the association. Back in 1958, the Brewers of Europe were already preparing themselves for the emerging CE in those days. But most of all, what I remember from this year of 2008, when we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Brewers of Europe, was my first meeting with President Barroso and his staff, where the President took note of what we had achieved in our 50 years as an organization, but he also challenged our sector to continue to meet the growing expectations of both citizens and policymakers. In particular, he encouraged us to help ensure Europe's brewers take concerted actions to implement effective marketing self-regulation across our whole membership. And through a pan-European commitment to the European Commission's European Alcohol and Health Forum, we made this happen. Last year, we had the pleasure of reporting back to the European Alcohol and Health Forum on our success and progress. This commitment is one example of many commitments that we took and that we have submitted and that have made us, by far, the leading contributor to the European Alcohol and Health Forum. Although marketing self-regulation is a work in progress, this commitment illustrates the ability of our sector to commit to action and to coordinate and drive the action throughout our entire membership, at the most senior levels of brewing companies and national brewing associations. We are really a united association. We work together and we know exactly where we are going. So I have been immensely proud to see what I can call this sense of ownership within our sector, and I think that quality can help our association and our sector in the current very challenging economic circumstances and beyond. Let me explain briefly that the short film you saw earlier reflects the present. Some of the numbers we have seen speak for themselves, but I would like just to underline some. We create in the European Union approximately 2 million jobs, 2 million. We contribute 50 billion euros in taxes to EU governments each year. Brewers spend 1 billion annually supporting activities in communities across the EU. And we are, last but not the least, a huge exporter of our product and European brewing skills and excellence. I think we are creditors of the economy, and I think we are great contributors to the, trade balance of Europe. However, our sector is really emerging from a difficult period and probably entering another difficult period. The recent economic crisis, coupled with significant tax increases on beer, caused beer consumption to fall 8% between 2008 and 2010. With beer sales in what we call the hospitality sector, so HoReCa, hotels, restaurants, cafes, being badly hit, there was, according to the recent Ernst & Young study that we published, 260,000 European job losses and a dramatic fall of 6% in government tax revenues from beer, in spite of excise duty increases on beer across a number of countries. How can we, as brewers, emerge from the crisis, and how can we help Europe to emerge stronger? I think that part of the answer is the word I used before, ownership. We assume our responsibilities and we take action. We are facing, indeed, challenging economic times. However, as a European sector, we must work together with both national and European policymakers to ensure growth. The EU and its institutions have an increasingly important role to play in facilitating growth, and this is exemplified in the Europe 2020 strategy for smart, sustainable, and inclusive growth. I was indeed heartened to hear in President Barroso's annual State of the Union address his reaffirmation of the need to implement and accelerate the rollout of this strategy, as it is herein the Europe's brewers wish to demonstrate their ambition to help drive Europe's economy forward. President, count on us for that. Europe's brewers continue to pursue smart growth through innovation in the sector and will foster inclusive growth by boosting employment as the sector recovers from the economic crisis, including in vulnerable rural regions and communities which often depend on local brewery as the primary employer. We are also responding to a growing trend towards sustainable consumption and production by reducing water and energy usage through the sector, and we look forward to reporting to policymakers on the situation in 2012. For every job that we create in our sector, and this is an important number or important set of numbers that I would like you really, if you can, please memorize it. For every job that we create in our sector, we generate 1 job in agriculture, 1 in retail, 1 in service, and 11 in the hospitality sector. we have a responsibility to find our feet again from an economic point of view. We will pursue these issues with the same vigor with which we approached commercial communications recently, and will continue to meet the growing expectations of policymakers and citizens. My strong wish is that our sector can help to reestablish confidence in business. I want to say to President Barroso, to Professor Hübner, and all our guests that you can count on the Brewers' ongoing support and on Brewers taking ownership of the Europe 2020 strategy. And without further ado, I would now like to hand the floor for his perspective on some of the issues we will be discussing and debating this evening to the President of the European Commission, Mr. Jose-Manuel Barroso.